This is not an easy story to tell. Just thinking about what happened still gives me chills. Lately, I've been seeing a therapist to talk about what I saw. About what lives amongst us humans. That lives within the darkest depths of the ocean. However, he never seems to believe me. He tends to blame everything I saw on my trauma. And tells me that my mind is making up these thoughts that aren't truly real. I am writing this now in hopes that you, whoever you are, will believe my story. Here it is. I've been working as a marine biologist for quite some time. A few years to say the least. I used to love everything about the ocean and was so mesmerized by it all. The glistening water, the plants, the sea life, even the size was all the more reason on why I became a marine biologist. It was the middle of October, and a higher up from my research team gave me a call about a new unexplored region, somewhere off the coast of the Pacific. Now, you may think somewhere so far out in the ocean may have made me decline the decision to go and explore such vast, open area. But no, in fact, just the thought of the idea made me ecstatic. I accepted the offer, made the arrangements, and quickly set off. The research team consisted of 4 people: Mike, Liz, my best friend Jackson, and myself. Together we've explored all kinds of places, discovered the most bizarre sets of animal life, and even became the first group to do a deep-sea dive inside the Mariana Trench. We were truly a fierce team, and every dive we took, every exploration we've set out on, it was all done with little to no fear. I always been fond of the ocean, yes, but I can't recall a time where I was actually scared of it. Well, that is up until now. We set off early morning, wasting no time at all to get to our destination. So, what do you think will be out there? Don't know. New species, maybe? Mike and Liz loved to discover new types of animals, while me and Jackson were more fond of the plant life. If so, let's hope nothing big enough to eat us, said Jackson, approaching the side of the boat. He gazed out at the open body of water, watching the city slowly disappear from our view. He closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. Smell that. The fresh air of open adventures, said our captain, cutting off Jackson as he spoke. Now, let's not try to be out here for too long. Understand, it's an area that we do not know of. We all agreed and began making plans on what specific things to keep an eye on. Well, being so far out, there's obviously not going to be any type of ground level whatsoever, and chances of us even getting an inch close to it is very slim. Mike's right. We should have the 2 of us search for unknown species near the surface, and the other 2 explore deeper, said Jackson, caressing the lining of his jaw. As a sign of thought, it was no surprise that Mike and Liz would be together. They are practically partners in crime. How about me and Jackson dive down? Evan and Liz, you guys stay at the top. This was surprising to all of us. Why the sudden change? I questioned, glancing over at Liz. I don't know, just thought we'd swap out partners for once. Yeah, Jackson put his hand on Mike's shoulder. Idiot. We're all partners here, but I guess switching it up a bit wouldn't hurt. Liz approached me with a cheerful look. Then it's settled. Let's make this a great exploration. Time went by pretty fast, and it was finally time for us to take our dive. As I approached the deck, Mike and Liz already had their gear on, and Jackson was just about to dive in. Come on, hurry up and put that last little bit of gear on and let's go. Mike sounded so excited, more than usual in fact. Yeah, just give me a sec. After finally putting on the last bit, I hurried over to the side of the boat. Jackson and Mike dropped down first, then Liz. However, before I could get my chance to touch the water, our captain rushed out, picking up signs of a storm on the radar, which is quite odd. I didn't see any type of signs of a storm approaching until now. You guys better hurry back. Boom. A nice-sized wave hit the blind side of the boat, sending me flying off into the water and pushing the boat into the others. I hurried and put on my mask as the power of the wave forced me down under. I watched Mike and Jackson get pushed back further and eventually dragged down by the follow-up of more waves. I grabbed Liz's arm before she could get pulled away any further, and we both swam up. Jesus. Captain, are you my God, what is it? I followed Liz's eyes up and saw a giant, monstrous wave approach us, ready to crash down right on the boat. Captain, the sound of water crashing and flowing in all sorts of directions snapped me back. I tried to keep calm, but in all my years, I've never been in this type of situation before. Liz, where's Liz? I looked around, giving myself a headache due to how fast I turned my head. Crackling. Evan, I'm right here. The radio sounded distorted and Liz was almost unrecognizable. Liz, can you hear me? Ugh, what the hell just happened? Questioned Jackson over the staticky radio. We got hit. and I'm too far under to see the boat. Okay. Ooh, let me just. Jackson, you there? Jesus. Evan, please tell me you're seeing what I'm seeing, said Liz, her voice sounding shaky. Confused, I looked around, and to my horror, I saw it. It looked like the edge of the world. Just how deep were we? The ground ended off in a completely straight line. And beyond that was nothing but pitch black darkness. What the hell is a cliff doing here? Mike, oh God, I thought I lost you, said Liz in worry. Nah. Still here, Jackson, Evan, I'm here. But we lost comms with Jackson. Wait, I think I see him. Look down at the edge. Me and Liz both looked down and saw Jackson slowly moving off of the edge. Jackson, what the hell are you doing? Get back up here, now. I tried to stop him. We all did, but he wouldn't listen. I do not know what happened to him, but I can still hear the words in my head. The final words Jackson said before. As Jackson slowly came off the edge, he said something that threw all three of us off. Do you see it? It's down there. Waiting for the right moment. What are you talking about, Jackson? What's waiting? Just come on back and let's get out of here. Please. Jackson let out a small gasp. It says thank you. Thank you for awakening me. You have set me free. Then, from a calming voice, to the sound of fear, he said, oh my God, guys, we shouldn't have come here. We aren't alone. Jackson started violently thrashing his arms, trying to swim up and away from the dark abyss. It's coming. Oh God, it's coming. It's gonna kill us all. We're all going to die. That's when we saw it. A long, dark, greenish and sorta scaly, long body quickly rushed up in size. It was massive, about the size of 4 great-sized mansions. But even then, I don't think even that is enough to explain just how huge the thing was. I watched Jackson get swallowed by it whole. The mouth area was so damn huge that it took up most of the abyss. The teeth were the size of giant, icy glaciers, and were very, very sharp. However, that wasn't the scariest part about its mouth. What frightened me the most was the rows of teeth the thing had, in a circular look. I saw 5 rows of teeth stick out. Holy shit, said Mike. The creature then took off further away. We watched for what it felt like 10 minutes. Its body swim away. Then from the darkness, I saw 2 giant white lights, though they weren't lights at all. They were the creature's pupils as its face slowly approached us. It spoke to us. Its voice, deep and stern. You do not belong. You have been abandoned. And soon, you will be forgotten as well. I saw its body make all kinds of curves and rotations in the distance. There seemed to be no end to it. Mike, what are you doing? Liz questioned in terror. I looked down to see Mike moving towards the creature. I do not belong. I've been abandoned, and I will soon be forgotten. I am nothing. Those were Mike's last words, as I saw him move ever so slightly towards the creature, almost as if he was being pulled into it. I looked at the creature and saw its mouth. Its mouth was open, and it stretched so far out that it could fit multiple of our boats inside it. As I stared at it, I found myself muttering something. I do not belong. The same words said by Mike. I quickly forced myself to turn away. Liz, turn away, now. She was nowhere to be found. I looked down once more and saw her, repeating the same words as Mike, and slowly moving towards the creature's mouth. No, I wanted to say something. Believe me, I did. But I just couldn't. I knew I wouldn't be able to get through to her. And I knew what was going to happen if I stayed any longer. I quickly began to swim up as my heart pounded inside my chest. Please let me make it. In the distance I saw the boat, slowly sinking down to the ground. Oh God, no. The surface slowly began to appear, just a little more. Then, after what felt like forever, I finally broke the surface and began to swim faster than I've ever swam in my life. I do not know what direction I was heading in, but I did not care, just as long as it wasn't in the same direction as that thing. I don't even think I can call it a creature anymore. I think I swam for about 15 minutes before my arms got tired, and my legs began to give out on me. There was nothing in sight, and I soon gave up hope. I laid myself back and floated. As I did, I began to have flashbacks that went back to when I first discovered the ocean, to when my parents first took me swimming at the beach. It all appeared to me as a blur, but it slowly faded away into darkness. I awoke inside of a hospital. Doctors surrounded me as I tried to keep my eyes open. Stay still and don't move. Jackson, Mike, the search team were not able to find your friends, nor the boat. It's lucky they found you. It was then that I had one last flashback, one last image in my brain. It was a vision of the thing that killed my friends, Jackson, Mike, Liz, all long gone. Doctors say I ended up fainting shortly after waking up. and became unresponsive. I then went into a short-term coma, one only lasting a few weeks to a month. When I woke up, my hospital room was empty, but the space around me was filled with get well cards and colorful balloons by my bedside. I was later checked out of the hospital and got to return to my home. Now, did I return back to work? Of course not. I'll never go back, not after what happened. After a while, I began experiencing night terrors and hallucinations every once in a while. Hell, I even developed thalassophobia, the fear of deep bodies of water, just like the ocean. I soon started to feel like I was losing my mind. I started hearing voices in my head, and visions of watching my friends be swallowed by that monstrous thing. My entire life felt like it was falling apart, which is why I eventually ended up going to a therapist, but not even he could help. Now I find myself writing this, not knowing when to end it, but what I do know is, we are not alone, and this world does not belong to us. 1/2/23. Monday evening, 8:45 p.m., Evan Parker found dead in his home. Cause: suicide. Description: Evan Parker was found hanging in his basement from one of the pipes. From the looks of it, he's been like that for days. Upon entering his house, team saw writing written all over the walls of the living room and basement, some sort of saying that read, "I do not belong. I have been abandoned, and I will soon be forgotten. I am nothing." Under his body there was a different saying. It read, "We are not alone."